Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio, and today's video is an art journal page, and that photo at the beginning is the Our Mixed Media Moods Facebook group's mood board for February. And the challenge is to take those photos and let them inspire you to create something. So I was trying to get the blue color, but I didn't have quite that color. So I'm just using a turquoise with the FW inks that I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby. Yay! So I'm trying to water it down a bit and stuff, trying to keep it a lighter blue color, but it's still not quite it. But I think the overall picture gets that feel. I really like Dee Dee Catron's projects, and I will try to remember to put a link below. If you don't see it, if it's not there, comment to me and remind me, and I'll get it in there. But I will try to remember. It's just between when I record this and when I actually upload it might be, a while, so I forget sometimes. Anyway, so I tried scribbling, I tried mark making. Mine always feel a little too contrived and not like other people's mark makings that seem loose and free, and so I end up not really caring for them. I'd seen somebody that does the marks, and she did a flip through of her mark book where she did challenges and she had blocks, and I really liked that, but this isn't it. So there they go, and that pen was kind of a purpley color when it was washed away. Oh well, it all adds to the background texture, right? And trust me, this thing gets a lot of texture in the end. So that was an interesting pen. Yeah, nice and purple. Okay, or was it a pencil? I think it was a fat pencil. Purpley graphite, I guess. So, still trying to tone down the turquoise. And so I'm just adding, I mixed some gesso and a little touch of black paint to make me some gray. And just going over it with a palette knife, keeping it really sketchy and rough and textured. And then I just take the gesso and do it. I could keep going. Layers and layers. I mean, this thing gets really, really textured in the end. Now I decide I want to put a focal image of some sort. I haven't decided what it is yet, but I made a big white spot there just so that I had something. And this is the back of my paintbrush. Putting texture in there. Making some marks. Again with the mark making. And I just got these stamps. They are Seth Apter's stamps. And really excited. This and some embossing powder is the first thing I've gotten of his. I like his stuff too. He does very grungy sort of stuff. But I just thought this would be fun to stamp all over my page. So I take it, I don't show you every step, but I take it and then I switch the words and stamped some more, and then just keep wanting to add things, so I grabbed some book text. It's a little bit yellow compared to the white of this page, and just add some more of that too. Still at this point, I'm not quite knowing what is going to go on here, but as I'm looking at it, I decide that it kind of looks like a map, and so yeah, we're going to draw a boat. Since I don't have one that I can just glue on, I'm looking at Google and drawing it from there. trying to remember which pencil that is I'm using. It's not smearing enough to be a graphite, or a chalk, so it must be a charcoal. Gosh, can't think today. Must just be a graphite pencil. I was just trying to smear it around. Like the other pencils I'd used earlier, they smeared pretty good. But here, once I write over the top after it's wet, it smears a little bit more. I want the boat to stand out without putting the obvious shadow behind, so the shadow's going on the sails instead. I think the ship was more inspired by what was already on the page than the mood board, but I think it still works. Now on the mood board there was a drawing of some sort that had some real definite black lines, so I'm using that as my inspiration to add some good dark lines. And in fact, underneath the ship, I'll put some pretty straight lines, kind of reflecting that drawing. I think it was on the bottom right of that mood board. I always look at that after. So those aren't necessarily intended to look like waves, even though they do look like a reflection, sort of. Still wanting to darken up those cells. I really want it to stand out. There we go. Guess this is what Dee Dee calls the push and pull. Back and forth, light and dark, till I get it the way I want it. Alright, since I decided this was a map, we put this little, I don't know, kind of reminds me of a compass. I'm just doing it in white, so it's not going to show up a ton, but it'll just sort of be a subtle design on the page. And we'll just repeat it a couple of times. My gesso's getting kind of thicker than normal. I leave it open too long. Alright, so once that was done, I decided to take a fountain pen and go around the edge, and then I wet the edge because I knew that ink would bleed, and just sort of bleed it around the edge. That gives it kind of a three-dimensional look, I think. Also on that mood board, or I don't know if, I can't remember what picture it was, But some other people had used fabric in theirs, and so I grabbed a piece of muslin that I had and some embossing that I had attempted earlier and just used it as the little word. Just to give it something. I always like to have a word or something in there when I'm doing an art journal page. They don't always end up with one, but I like it that way. I decide it needs more something, so I'm just adding a little bit of darkness around. And really, that's about it. I really enjoyed that page, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did like it, please hit like, feel free to share, comment, and if you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.